Mr. Chair, I think we're ready to get started with study session.
All right. This is study session, not the actual meeting.
That's correct. Could I get the next slide, please?
Huh?
Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, Board of Adjustment members. Today is March 25th, 2026. For today's agenda, we have one case to be heard, C10-26-01, Mackawayak Residence Accessory Dwelling Unit at 514 West 17th Street, H03 zoning. But before we get into today's case discussion, just wanted to point out that we do have currently 3 applications that we have received for a May 27th hearing. Unfortunately, we're not able to obtain a quorum for April. So we're looking at possibly a May 27th hearing for those cases. And then any additional cases that we may receive by the filing deadline for the May 27th hearing. Does anybody have any questions for me at this time?
So no quorum for April?
That's correct. Can I get the next slide, please? Okay, so here is our project. This is located in Barrio Historico. If you look at the aerial view here, it's highlighted there as the site. The project is to construct an accessory dwelling unit, also known as an ADU, in the front yard area of this property. If you look at the aerial, you can see that this neighborhood is substantially more dense than what we typically see. There's a lot of construction that covers a lot of the lots. They're smaller sizes than your typical lots. And in this case, the principal structure of the site is constructed in closer to the rear property line, where actually it looks like it's on the rear property line. So basically anything that's an accessory structure that's detached from the residence would have to be located in the front yard area. Now there is a UDC provision that restricts accessory structures to be located, detached accessory structures to be located in the front yard area. There are some exceptions, and that would be carports that are limited to 400 square feet in size. But because this is an ADU, this will not qualify for that exemption. So the variance that they're seeking is to allow the ADU in the front yard area. Can we get the next slide, please? Okay,
Mark,
so this is a,
could you point out the lot from that other slide, please?
I'm sorry?
Could you point out the lot from that other slide?
There you go. You see it?
Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Thank you. Right.
Okay, so this is the proposed site plan for the property. As you can see, you have the principal structure in the rear, not a lot of room for development. You have some trees, some vegetation in some areas. The ADU is proposed in the front yard, closer to the front street lot line. Because this is Barrio Historico, it has an historic preservation zone overlay. It did require to go through additional reviews, and that would be through the Barrio Historic Commission and the Tucson Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee for review of the project. So those reviews did conclude, and they were both supportive, which led to the Planning and Development Services Director to approve the historic plans review component of this project. as part of the review process for historic, they were able to waive setback requirements. So that's the reason why you're not seeing variances for setbacks. The historic review actually waived those. And then there's also a wall that's proposed, but that's going to be done through a different process. That's going to be part of the design development option process. So the only item before the board today is just a request to allow the detached accessory dwelling unit in the front yard area. Can I get the next slide, please? And so here's specific to the language in the staff report. The variance is to allow the construction of a detached accessory dwelling unit between the principal structure and the front street lot line, all as shown on the submitted plans. As of today, we have received 3 approvals, no protests. The board members were provided copies of those comments. And staff is in support of this variance request. This is actually a very good example of a situation where you have a unique circumstance that's applicable to the property that the owner is not a self-imposed hardship. So this is a great example because you have a principal structure that's all the way to the rear of the property. There's no other option for development in front of it without going through a variance process. Are there any questions at this time? Any questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, we can go ahead and close the study session, and then we'll start at 1:30 for the public hearing. Mr. Chair, we have 1:31 right now. We can go ahead and get started.
Okay. Uh, Ms. Hamblin, roll call, please.
Bruce Dawson,
Here.
Irma Duran,
Here.
Michael Marks,
Here.
Robert Valencia.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Tucson's Board of Adjustments. This meeting is being recorded, and by joining, you are giving your consent for this meeting to be recorded. An introduction of each case will be made by staff. At the conclusion of staff's presentation, the applicant or the applicant's representatives will have an opportunity to speak. For the record, please tell the board your name and address and state your request. At the conclusion of the applicant's presentation, any person wishing to speak in favor of the request may indicate so by raising a hand. Feature location in the reactions tab at the bottom of your screen. Please be sure to state your name and address when recognized by the chair. When called by the chair, the board who's wishing to speak in opposition to the applicant's request may do so in the same manner using a raised hand feature. The chair may allow the applicant an opportunity for a brief rebuttal. The chair will close the public hearing and open up for discussion by the board members. At the conclusion of the board's discussion, a motion will be made, and if seconded, it will be voted upon. All presentations today must be directed solely to the board and not staff to or members of the audience. All presentations to the board must, also be only on the items brought before the board. Presentation on matters unrelated to the request will not be heard. The discussion of the Board of Adjustments may be appealed to the Superior Court of Pima County by filing a complaint or special action with the Pima County Superior Court Clerk's Office within 30 days of the board's decision. For additional information on this process, please contact the Superior Court Clerk's Office or an attorney after today's public hearing. If you are going to give testimony today, please be brief and to the point. Repetition of testimony already given by other witnesses is not necessary. The chair may invoke a time limit if deemed necessary. Before you testify, please remember to state your name and address. All testimony of the board must be given under oath. At this time, I'm going to ask the city staff to raise their right hand and repeat. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
That's
Thank you. Remainder may remain mute yourself and turn your camera off unless you are addressing the board. Before we call the first case, we have election of officers. This is the first regular meeting of the board for March of 2026. Rules of the board require that a chair and vice chair be elected to serve for the next year. May I have nominations for the position of chairman first?
Yes, I'd like to nominate yourself, Bruce Dawson, for the position of chairman.
Are there any further nominations? If only one nomination, the chair of the board, Bruce Dawson, is elected by acclamation. We need a nomination for vice chair. Would like to, I don't know, can I nominate anybody? Yes, I can nominate.
Yeah, do that until they tell you no.
Nominate this new guy.
That's good. That's good.
It's Valencia, right? Robert Valencia as vice chair. Any further nominations? Hearing none, we will assume that he is vice chair, is elected by acclamation. Okay, are we done with that? I think done with that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just for confirmation, who was the motion maker for nomination of Mr. Valencia?
Say again.
Who was the motion maker for nomination of Mr. Valencia?
That was me, Bruce Dawson. Okay, then, Mr. Castro, please call the first case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. Our case today is C10-26-01, Mackawyak Residence Accessory Dwelling Unit, Mitch Mackawyak, 514 West 17th Street, HO3 zoning. The applicant's property is an approximately 2,960 square foot parcel zoned HO3 office within a historic preservation zone overlay and is developed with a single family residence. The applicant is proposing to construct a detached accessory dwelling unit in the area between the principal structure and Front Street lot line. The applicant is requesting the following variants. 1, allow the construction of a detached accessory dwelling unit between the principal structure and the Front Street lot line, all as shown on the submitted plans. In related plan reviews, historic preservation review, the subject property is located within the Barrio Historic Preservation Zone. The project has undergone review through the Barrio Historic Zone Advisory Board and Tucson-Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee under application number SD 0525-00062. The HPZ review evaluated the design of the proposed accessory dwelling unit for compatibility with the historic character of the neighborhood and the contributing structure located on the site. On October 8, 2025, the Historic Preservation Review application was approved with conditions by the Director of Planning and Development Services. Planning and Development Services has no objection to the applicant's requested variance. It is the opinion of staff that there are special circumstances applicable to the property and that the requested variance would not constitute a grant of special privileges inconsistent with the limitations upon other properties in the vicinity and zone and would not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood. To date, we have received a total of 3 written approvals and 0 protests. And for the record, the board members have been provided a copy of the comments. Mr. Chair and members of the board, this concludes staff's presentation. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for staff?
No, I don't.
No, sir. Irma? Hearing none, we're, no further questions. Okay, I will open the board to the presentation from the applicant. Please state your name and address for the record, please. Is his microphone on?
Get the site plan up, please. Next slide. There you go. Thank you.
Yes, I think Mark covered a lot of.
Yeah, I have a question. Is on the site plan, there's the rectangle there below the residence and just what seems to be south of that tree. Is that the ADU?
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's
The kind of wedge shaped thing up against the property line?
the left of.
Just to the orientation of the map, that would be to the west. Just to the left.
Neighboring dwelling.
Yeah, I have one, maybe more, I'm not sure, but we see that you've gotten support from several neighbors. Could you tell me about the neighborhood meeting and whether you had much more attendance than those that have indicated approval, or was it sparsely attended?
One person.
Okay, okay. Between the ADU and the principal building, what kind of gap is that? Seems like you've done a good job with your neighbors. Nobody's here, and nobody is acting, at least. That's a good sign. So congrats on that. I don't have any other questions for you.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none. Okay, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Really don't see anybody else in the audience, so I'm assuming there's nobody going to speak in opposition to this, and there's nobody that was complaining about that. And so I will close the public hearing on that. I'll open discussion of the board.
Well, I see no reason to object to this. I think the neighbors have not objected. Some have indicated approval. And you apparently have done a good job getting through the historic review. And staff is supporting the case. So I would like to make a motion to support the case too, which I would say I move that we grant the following variance in case C-10-2601 to allow the construction of a detached accessory dwelling unit between the principal structure and the front street line, all as shown on the submitted plans. The evidence presented to the board shows that there are special circumstances which are not self-imposed, which are applicable to the property and support the granting of the requested variance. As set forth in the staff report, Board of Adjustment findings 1 through 7. The variance will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood, and is the minimum necessary to provide relief. That's the motion.
That's the motion. Can I hear a second?
I move that we grant the following variance as well.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 That makes it unanimous. The motion is granted. So thank you very much. Good luck with your project. Thank you, sir. All right. Is there any further business before the board?
No, Mr. Chair.
Then I will call adjournment. Thank you very much.